I didn't realize my hands were shaking until the boarding pass fluttered between my fingers. Funny how betrayal lingers in the body long after the mind has moved on. I was halfway down the jet bridge when the flight attendant leaned close, her voice barely a breath. "Pretend you're feeling sick and leave the plane." I blinked, waiting for a smirk, a wink, anything to tell me I misheard. Nothing. Just fear in her eyes. Real fear. I stepped aside, heart thudding, but kept walking, trying to swallow the unease. I told myself I'd faced far worse than cryptic warnings from strangers. After all, this entire trip existed because of betrayal and the revenge I'd already set in motion. Still, when she came back, face pale, whispering, "Please, I beg you," something inside me froze. I wasn't leaving, not yet, not before the finale. People think betrayal happens in a single moment, a kiss, a lie, a phone left unlocked. But mine started long before the evidence, long before the shift, before I learned who he really was. I met Daniel in a crowded lobby at a corporate seminar. He had that polished charm, the kind that made you feel chosen just by standing near him. He laughed too easily, listened too intently, and made promises with quiet conviction. I believed every one of them. We built a life around trust, or at least I did. He built something else entirely. The first cracks were small, late nights disguised as deadlines, trips for clients he never named, a new password on his phone, the soft buzz of messages he never opened near me. But suspicion alone wasn't enough. I needed truth, and truth always reveals itself if you stop reacting and start watching. I found the message by accident, or maybe instinct guided me. A preview banner lighting up his phone while it charged on the kitchen counter. "Can't wait to see you at the resort. Same room as last time. L." My heart didn't break. It calcified. I didn't confront him, didn't scream, didn't cry. I simply shifted. People underestimate silence. It's where strategy is born. I watched him for weeks, letting him think I was still in the fog of love. I tracked his transactions, traced his emails, followed the trail of his arrogance straight to the woman he'd been seeing for months, a coworker he once described as barely competent. Funny, he seemed to admire her competence just fine behind my back. Revenge didn't come from rage. It came from clarity. He loved control, so I dismantled every place he thought he had it. I started with the company, the one he'd been siphoning funds from to impress her. I gathered evidence, built the file, and delivered it anonymously to the board. Then the shareholders, then the compliance team. His career collapsed before he even knew the storm had his name on it. Next came the finances. Joint accounts quietly closed. Investments transferred. A private investigator documenting every violation of our prenuptial agreement, including the infidelity clause he clearly thought I'd never enforce. By the time the divorce papers hit him, he was already drowning. And still, he didn't know it was me tightening the rope. But justice, real justice, requires timing, which is why I booked this flight. Because he was on it, running, trying to get ahead of the consequences, trying to reach that coworker before she found out what he'd done to her, too. I took my seat and watched him 2 rows ahead, shoulders rigid, jaw clenched, pretending he still had options. Then the announcement came. "Ladies and gentlemen, due to a security concern, we need to deplane immediately. Please follow crew instructions." A ripple of tension moved through the cabin, but I knew exactly what this was. The file I sent the authorities included more than financial fraud. It included the offshore accounts, the falsified identity documents, the trail he thought he'd erased. He wasn't just a cheater, he was a criminal. And someone had finally connected the dots. He stood abruptly, looking around, eyes wide, searching for an escape that didn't exist. When he saw the officers waiting outside the jet bridge, he paled. Then he turned, straight toward me. Recognition, accusation, fear. "Did you—" he started. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. The officers closed in. He tried to step back, but there was nowhere left to go. "Daniel Cole," one of them said, "you're under arrest." His breath hitched. "This is a mistake. This can't—" But it could, and it did. As they cuffed him, his gaze locked on mine, desperate, betrayed, almost poetic. He'd never understand that I didn't destroy him out of heartbreak. I destroyed him because he thought I wouldn't. When they led him away, the flight attendant passed me with a look that said she finally understood why she felt uneasy. "Thank you," she murmured. I nodded, stood, and walked off the plane. Not shaken, not sick, not broken, just free. Some people board flights to escape.